Hi friends, it's Deanna here today, and today I'm going to be working on a cute little top. So I figured I want to add a little fabric applique to it. And I'm not going to do it on an embroidery machine, I'm just going to do it on my sewing machine. So I thought I'll just go ahead and show you how I do it. So let's get started. Alright, so I'm going to be doing the Aubrey top, and I didn't really have a panel to go with the top, and I thought the solid just looks so blah. So I'm like, you know what? I want to add a little bit of sparkle or a little bit of something to it. So why not add a fabric applique? You can use the same fabric that you're using for like another piece of your outfit. I'm just steaming this top. This is my top bodice, because it's really actually kind of wrinkled. Anyway, so you can add the fabric from that you're using to accent or whatever, or really you can just use any kind of fabric. But the first thing you need to decide is what you're going to put on your top. Now, I've been kind of agonizing trying to think what I'm gonna do on it, because I'm using this glitter-like fabric. And so I want something cute, but I don't want something over the top, because I'm going to do it on my sewing machine, and this is just an entry-level one. I'm not using all kinds of different colors, which you can. I'm just using one color. So I was trying to think, do I do a heart, which would be super easy? But then I'm like, you know, I had this piece of fabric. This is the little circle cutout from when I cut the skirt, and I just cut a little piece right there, and I'm like, that kind of looks a little bit like a rainbow, so that's what we're going to go with. But if you're going to do something else, what I've done before, and this is a little tip, if you want to do like a heart or like an animal, I did the half pipe tee for my son with a little lion on it, and I'll add a picture to it so you can see it. And what I did is I go on my laptop and I go to clip art, and I'll type in, not a clip art, I'll just go to Google or whatever, and I'll type in lion silhouette. Sorry, I couldn't think of the word. Lion silhouette clip art. And I clicked enter, and then all these different ones will show up. So I picked the one that looks semi-easy, but it looks like what I want it to be, and I do usually black and white. So then I go ahead and print it onto a piece of paper the size that I want it to be. Once I print that piece of paper the size I want it to be, I'm gonna grab that piece of paper and I'm gonna cut out the lion out of it, which means that now I have this piece of paper with the shape that I want to make my fabric to look like. Then I'll grab my piece of fabric, whatever fabric it is, right now it's this fabric, and I'll lay it, and I'll grab my lion and I'll put it right on top of it, and I'll use pins and pin the lion to my fabric, and I'll cut with really sharp scissors my lion out of my fabric. So following my paper cutout, I'll cut my lion or my heart or whatever it is that you are making. And now you have a piece of fabric that resembles the shape that you want to make. Now, you know, this is a simple applique. It's not, I'm not talking about something that's gonna be like super over the top, though you could do it. Like, let's say you wanted to do some kind of a turkey and you wanted every feather to be a different color. You can also do it that way. You just wanna cut every feather a different color of your fabric and place it on, and then the turkey face right on top. That would also be a really, really cute and neat thing to do. So I'm gonna show you how I actually get this on my fabric and how to do it, and it is actually super easy. So the first thing we wanna do obviously is find the middle of our fabric, because we want of our bodice. So my bodice is already cut out because I wanna know exactly where I want this piece to be, and it makes it easier. Or if you want to attach it on before you cut it out, that's fine, because then later when you're cutting it out, you just need to make sure that you find the half. So I'm finding that half. So here it is. I'm just kind of rubbing it so I can see it. I made like a little imprint of my line, my half. And then I want to figure out where in my top I want to put it. So I've got my little rainbow-like piece. I'm gonna fold my rainbow piece in half as well and make it a mark, so that way I know exactly where my half is, which I had it right on the half. And then I want to see how far or how high I want it. Now remember, when you sew up, you're going to eat up a little bit of your fabric right here, so you don't want it right up to the top of the fabric, because that's gonna get eaten. So I also don't want it to be too low, so I'm gonna put it somewhere like in the middle oops, somewhere kind of, you know, level with the armpit. And that's really up to you where you want it. Once I figure that out, there's a couple of ways that you can do this. There are some like spray adhesives. You can spray the back of your fabric and spray adhesive to your bodice and then sew it on. You can use pins. Sometimes I'll just go in and pin, like put a lot of pins on it to keep it from moving when I'm trying to sew it on. Or you can also use like steam-a-seam. Sometimes I'll go ahead and put a little bit of a, whatever you have in hand. I have some steam-a-seam, so I figured I'll just put it on the back of my little thing and kind of stick it on so that way when I'm sewing it, it doesn't move around so much on me. Let's do a little steam here and there. And then I'll use more pins so I can pin it on. The way I'm going to do this rainbow is I'm going to go in and I'm going to do one top stitch line to get it attached all the way around. And when you're attaching it, I will say this. I do like to go close up to the fabric, to the edge of the fabric, so like a 1/8 stitch, 1/8 inch of a stitch away from the 1/8 inch away from the edge. Sorry, I couldn't get that out. And I like to do that because it gets it on there really nice. And then I'm gonna go like a 1/2 inch away and do one little arch, and then another 1/2 inch away and do another little arch, and then another 1/2 inch away and do another little arch, so it looks kind of like the lines of the rainbow. And I'm really hoping that this will turn out cute. Now, what thread should you use? So I will tell you that the lion I did with just regular thread, and I did a regular straight stitch on my sewing machine. And why I did that was because the top, it will stretch a little bit at the stomach and stuff, but mostly where it stretches is at the neck and the arms when they're putting it on. And I didn't have any issues with it popping at all. But this time I'm going to be careful, and I'm actually going to be using this Ellie Flex, which is a stretch fabric that you can sew straight stitch with. So that's what I'm going to use today. But if you don't have this kind of thread, like I said, I've done straight stitch, or you can do a zigzag or some kind of stretch stitch along to attach it. If you're just doing like a basic heart shape, I would just go around the outside all the way around it and top stitch it on, and you're done. I mean, it is that simple. I know that sometimes we're like, oh my goodness, can I do a project like that? Yes, you can. That's my motto. Yes, you can. All right, so let's go over to my sewing machine and we're going to start sewing it and see how simple and quick it is to get this one done. I almost forgot to thread my machine with my Ellie Flex. I was like starting to sew and thinking, okay, and then I'm like, wait a minute. I wanted to use this other thread. This thread I actually found through Nye. She did a review on our YouTube page, and I'll actually go ahead and attach a link to that review on here right above. And then also I sewed a top with it after I saw her review, and I actually really liked it. So I was like, yes, I need that. And I got it off of Amazon, but I know that places like Joann's Fabric sells it, and some other retailers. All right, now that it's ready, I'm on a straight stitch on my sewing machine, and I'm going to start going, like I said, all the way around 1/8 inch. So I want to make sure that your needle is down, because that is how it's easier for the fabric to stay down. I don't want to look at the needle, I want to look at the plate. So I'm gonna catch my eye and figure out where in my plate I'm supposed to keep it at, and go from there. I'm going very slow because I don't want to stretch out my fabric, so I'm not pulling on my fabric. And also because I don't want to, you know, come off my fabric or anything like that. So going slow is your friend. Some people run over their pins. Some people, meaning me, a lot of times I run over my pins. But this time I'm being very careful because I am going slow and I don't want it to pop and hit me right on my eyeball. There is a speed button on my sewing machine, but I feel like I just want to control my own speed with my foot. Alright, so don't lift your needle up, just lift your foot up and go over to the other side and continue going the other way. Again, don't lift your needle up, just go around. Around the curve, you can go very slowly. A lot of times I stop and I turn my fabric. Just little by little. And do a back stitch where you started. Put your needle up, put your foot up, pull it out. So if you are doing something like a heart, your heart will be done and already stuck on. How cute. But like I said, I'm going to do a couple more lines to make it fall down. Now, you see that it's a little bit wonky. You'll go over to your iron and you put steam on it, and the steam will make the fabric fibers go back in on itself, so it'll help with some of that waviness. As long as you take it slow, you take it slow. I did a stitch of a 3.5 by on it, so that way the length is 3.5 because I don't like it to be too tight. So now I'm gonna go about a 1/2 inch away. So maybe I should measure. Now there are tools for putting on your machine and measuring, but I'm just going to do it with my ruler and kind of know how far. So I know how far I'm supposed to be from my thread here, and that's what I'm gonna keep an eye on. I do not keep an eye on my needle. I keep an eye on my thread over here to show me how far it's supposed to be from my foot. That is how I do it. But there are tools online that show you, that help you keep that gauge. I'm just a daredevil and I just go for it. Which means that it's not gonna be perfect, but it's gonna be just fine. Going backwards and lifting my needle. And that was my first arch. Just look at it. Not too bad. Alright, so now we go for the next one. Same thing, and now that I know how far I'm supposed to be from the edge, I can just go ahead and go. Almost done, but this would have been very cute if I would have used different color threads on it. Like for the different lines. And that would have been adorable, but I think it worked out well. As you can see a little bit of the texture right there. You can see it better in the back. If you had the different thread colors, you could really see it. Look how cute that looks in the back. And you could even just do this with just your thread to make a colorful front. Alright, so now we're gonna go ahead and cut all these threads and we are done. Alright, look at how cute that looks on our top. And like I said, if you wanted to add different colors, different things, that would have been super cute as well. I'm gonna go finish up my top and then I'll come back and show you just how cute that applique looks with the whole finished look. But like I said, you could do it with any top, and you could also do it with infinite different designs on your that you can just find online. You know, you can just find a shape, or even if you just have something on hand and you want to do a circle shape, and then you're just doing like a little circle. I mean, you could do it with anything really. I'm all for just using what you already have. So I hope this was helpful. Let me show you the finished result. All right, I finished this Aubrey and it is super cute, but like I think the applique just brings it to a next level. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on how to do that simple applique. So quick, so easy, so cute. Please let me know if you have any questions. Comment, like, share, subscribe if you haven't. Come find us on Instagram and on Facebook so you can share what you're making and we can be inspired by you, and you can see what everybody else is making and you can inspire them. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Let me know in the comments what's going to be the first thing you appliqued, or if you've already done it, what is one of your favorite things you've appliqued. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!